I'm Carson.
And I'm Jack.
And this is
Dweeb Wars!
Every week, we help a nerdy expert solve one of life's greatest dweeby mysteries.
Whoever wins the most debates by the end of the season becomes the
Head Dweeb in charge!
Today's debate.
What fast food franchise would thrive in Middle-earth?
We're gonna have to cover. We are gonna help you out.
Yeah.
Hey, Pizza Head!
Don't be cheesy.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dweeb Wars.
Wow.
Jack thinks he's acting crazy because he hasn't gotten sleep in 4 days because he's jet lagged.
Oh my god, I just got back from Japan, which was an awesome trip, but like literally haven't slept in 4 days. Not 1 minute of sleep last night, except for a 30-minute
20
nap
minutes ago,
I just had. And I woke up feeling insanely stressed. It could just be my inner saboteur.
Inner saboteur. Yeah.
But
But
anyway,
let's talk about our outer saboteurs. So Jack is dressed as a sort of royal knight with a
maybe an elven
moment with
tunic.
a pizza hat. I'm wearing a fuzzy bra. I'm as if a Balrog had relations with a human who then work in a sort of blacksmith shop. A little apron sort of giving you a little fast food vibes. Today we're talking fast food and Lord of the Rings. And what? What are you laughing at?
it's just
How I look?
you always tell me that when I'm presenting, I have a story. Girl, you have a story to tell. That's all I'm laughing
my clothes
about.
tell the story for me. Let's do some basics. Lord of the Rings, most famous fantasy novel ever made.
Yeah.
Movies galore.
Best movies ever, maybe.
Yes, you've
to
seen
me.
more times. That's why I'm scared of this episode too. Is you have seen them more times than anybody literally I've ever known.
I've probably watched the second one over 100 times.
It is so crazy.
But that doesn't help today, I don't think, really.
It might. And fast food, it's food that's fast, easy, cheap.
Yeah.
Chain restaurants.
Yeah.
Before we bring our guest in, I started reading The Fellowship of the Ring in the bar that JRR Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings with this person. We began together in England.
It's amazing.
It's one of my fondest memories, and I'm so excited to have him here on the pod.
Ladies and gentlemen, JRR Turk.
Daryl Turtle. And we also play D&D with him. We know this man very well.
Yeah. And so we trust him with our lives.
Literally.
Should we bring him in?
Let's do it.
Eric Wiegand.
Now you just surprised us with a pumpkin.
A pumpkin for you.
Why?
Lip moisturizer for you.
Damn, that's shade.
you.
That is shade.
It's a harvest festival. Hey
And
guys.
a secure job for you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Happy to have you here. For
I'm
real.
excited to
Eric.
be here. My hope for this episode is that it's the most contentious, angry episode since Club Penguin.
Since we began.
I want there to be
best
real
one.
animosity after this one.
I
And
find that does arise when we are more facts based.
Right.
But I also feel like we've turned over a new leaf in some ways. Like we've done it so many times that we are, I think, more confident. I think a lot of my attacks came from insecurity. I'll say it.
yeah, so the question today, my question for you guys is what fast food franchise would thrive in Middle-earth?
It's a great question.
It's a fantastic question. It's a perfect question because it can be so facts based or it can be so opinion based. Like
Completely
it's like
vibes-based.
yes,
Right.
Yeah.
like
Right. Much
and I'm
like the nutrition content
right,
of fast
actually,
food.
Right.
exactly.
These are two
Interpretation.
subjects that I feel very qualified to talk about to some extent. Lord of the Rings is one of my. It's been with me my whole life. I read The Hobbit over and over and over again when I was in elementary school. I had a little paperback copy of it. That the smell of it, this me being a little freak, I would like just give it. I would huff my Hobbit
Huff it,
paperback and.
Yeah.
To this day, if I find that same edition of
You
The
smell
Hobbit in a bookstore,
Girl.
I will
Pavlov's
pluck it
dog, yeah.
and and I'm in
Does it
third
smell
grade again, and
just as good?
it smells exactly the same. If
my
you find
God.
the like small paperback edition
I
of the
had that one.
Hobbit, green cover, illustrated fronts
Wow,
of
right.
Gandalf
Yeah,
arriving
yeah.
at Bag
Yep.
Ends. That's the one, and it
never
has a
smelled my
really
copy.
particular smell
Shoot.
that is amazing. I might have that copy still. I brought with you. I overheard you talking about the story in Oxford.
Yeah, that's
I brought with. This
that's
is
the copy.
This is the copy that I purchased when Carson and I were in Oxford, England.
Might I ask, how does it smell?
Yeah, how's it smell?
Only one way to find
I'm
out.
curious. Good or not?
Smells like nothing.
Okay.
And then the movies been with me as long as I can remember. My dad took me and my friends to it, and we were way too young. There were decapitations. One of my friends started hyperventilating, had to go to the lobby. My dad had to leave the movie with him and calm him down. He was having a panic attack. We were also very scared, but then we were obsessed with it. Exactly.
Why can't we have some
Exactly.
Me and Eric went to a fast food joint not a week ago together. But it was so funny. I was telling Eric there, I was on the machine and I was like, oh, well, I'm a vegetarian now, but like I can get the nuggets. And then I was like, wait, that's not true.
That's not how it works.
They really get you with
It
that.
really
because
McNuggets are their own
seem-
thing.
It just seems like
No.
its
It's a
own
McNugget.
vibe.
It's giving like Soylent
That's the,
Green.
Yeah.
the beauty and horror of fast food writ large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Middle Earth also filled with much beauty and much horror.
Horror, true.
True.
That's a good segue. I mean, like, should we get into it?
I'm so
I would
excited.
love to.
Okay, let's do it.
So, all right, welcome to my presentation. Which fast food chain would thrive in Middle Earth? Eyes up here, boys.
Right, right.
Okay, there's
Yeah.
Gandalf with the big naturals.
Eyes on the prize.
Let's take a look at the diet in Middle Earth. So here's a list of many of the foods mentioned in either The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings. Rabbit stew, taters, cram bread, salted pork, mushrooms, honey cakes, hot soup, cold meats, blackberry tart, bread, butter, cheese. Something they say is, quote, good plain food. We're not looking at something so crazy. It's chill stuff. They don't have that many different types of cuisines. Now I want to talk about how to measure satisfaction in the consumer of fast food. So really, when we're talking about fast food restaurants thriving, obviously to thrive, they need to have a clientele who really likes their fast food. Convenience ranks number one as the most important thing for fast food consumers, according to ClueTrack, which was a study that
Reputable
reviewed
source.
about no, but
that
it was a
link.
study that reviewed around 170,000 reviews of people in fast food restaurants. I would say there's got to be an average, at least if not better, bathroom experience for road trips to be an enjoyable fast food
Middle
restaurant
Earth,
for
big
me.
road trip place.
I think you also have to get good bang for your buck. And also, I think that localizing food items and the menu for different cultures and dietary restrictions is a really important part of a fast food. Like you were saying, you know, don't you wish they maybe had a vegan chicken nugget, right?
Yeah.
On the other side, when we're talking about a thriving business, what's a thriving fast food restaurant in terms of business? Revenue. That is, money is king. So for this reason, I believe McDonald.
Wow, interesting.
Fast food chain that would thrive in Middle Earth. This is a subsidiary, localized subsidiary of Mickey D's. So let's dive in to the specifics. Convenience. Back to what I was saying. What makes people like these places? Convenience. McDonald's has the most amount of locations of any fast food chain in the world, 42,000 globally, making it one of the most convenient fast foods to get. No one talks about where the Fellowship pooped.
No, it's true.
Okay. I was thinking
Researching
about
this as
that.
well.
It's not like Harry Potter where Gandalf can, you know, there's like the canon of Harry Potter is that wizards piss themselves and then they go whoosh. They poop their pants and then they
no
switch
idea.
and flick it away.
They poo-poo
That's
their
canon. They poo-poo their
I
pants.
had no idea.
We don't talk about where they pooped, okay? When you're on a road trip and you have to pee or poop, McDonald's to me is always a safe bet. Imagine you're Frodo and Sam. You're going to Mount Doom. It's a really long trek. They probably had to poo-poo in the woods or in the marshes or in the crag.
Otherwise they
Don't
poo-poo their
you
pants.
think
Yeah.
having so many bathrooms around, if they had a bunch of McGondors, would sort of make things better? And that's not just for them, right? That's for all travelers, which many are. Good bang for your buck. Cincinnati local news network did an article on the prices and weights of fast food items between 4 different places. They found that Five Guys did have the biggest burger, but at over twice the price. Second place was McDonald's. Pretty good bang. Then let's talk about the localized food items. So McDonald's has a history of local food, the local food menus in different countries. So we have the poutine in Canada. We have the panzeroni in Italy. We have the masala burger in India.
Japanese McDonald's go crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
Whoa, I had no idea.
Yeah, so McGondors would likely do this too, but more on that later. Now let's talk about McGondors clientele. So this would likely serve the realm of men, duh. This is where we're getting our standard foods, meats, potatoes, a little lettuce, stuff like that. But let's talk about their revenue potential. So when we're talking about thriving, I want to talk money. 87% of households went to McEarth at least once in 1 year. An average of those 87%, an average customer spent $461 a year, over 54 visits. So to simplify this, let's call it 52 weeks. They go once a week, right?
Oh my God.
And if you divide that number, 461 by 52, you get $8.86 per visit.
I had no idea people were going to McDonald's that much.
Yeah.
Now let's take us to Middle Earth. So here we have, we're going to go over the demographics of Middle Earth. Here on the left, we have a pretty simple version of the territories in Middle Earth. Then we have Europe overlaying Middle Earth here on the right. We can sort of compare populations to that of medieval Europe.
Right.
A lot of what I'm going on here is an article by Lehman Stone, who's an economist. So Stone looks at historical population densities of areas of Europe in the medieval era, and that's the closest vibe we sort of have in history to the Lord of the Rings timeline, and compares them to similar territories in Middle Earth based on certain things like region size, how many cities there are, how big the cities are in that region, land fertility, estimated army size in each place. Then we can make a population estimate. So for example, you see over here on the left, La Sarnach, which is the territory that has Minas Tirith, is the most dense because it has the largest city. And if we look over here, Italy in the medieval era was the territory with the densest population as well. They might be similar because they had Rome, right? So we can sort of make comparisons there to get a rough population. So from this, he finds that there's approximately 6.7 million men, elves, dwarves, and halflings in Middle Earth. So we have just under 200,000 halflings, 284,000 elves, 121,000 dwarves, 6.1 million men, so many more men than anyone else. And he estimated, in the end, 810,000 orcs and goblins in a society that might frequent a restaurant.
Okay.
He didn't say that.
Yeah, but in a society.
Yeah, they live in a society that has leadership, right? So like Mordor, Dol Guldur, things like that, but not like Misty Mountain goblins that have like a tribe that
Nomadic.
Right.
So anyway.
But even them truck stop, I mean, if they're nomadic, I feel like they'll stop by,
Use the
fast food
bathroom.
restaurant. Yeah.
So we're going on a low estimate here. Bear with me on some math, okay?
Holy
Oh my God.
shit, dude.
So-
More than that?
yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Barren.
No, this
I'm
is
sorry, you guys.
incredible.
No,
it's
it's gonna
awesome.
go crazy.
I'm in a
Go
board.
I
for
have
it.
to nerd out for a minute.
No,
It's
please
perfect.
do.
According to medievalists.net,
Yeah,
families in medieval Europe, which is what we're basing this off of, had about 2 children that were alive at one point. So family size of 4. Then we take the 6.1 million population of men, divide it by 4. Then we take that 1.525 million and times it by 87%, which is the amount of people who ate McDonald's in the past year. So then that brings us to 1,326,750 families in Middle Earth who might have, if they had McGondors all around, might go. Then I'm going to say around 1 meal per week, similar to what we do in America. So that's the same number, 1.326 blah 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 million. We times that by 52 weeks, then we have 68,985,800 yearly visits to McGondor total, and then we times that by 8.86, which is the average spend of a trip to McDonald's.
Okay.
And we come with $611 million or so generated revenue from McGondor in the areas catering to the population of men. Are we following for now?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
For a while there, I didn't know where it was going. But by the end,
McDonald's would make a lot of money.
This is the revenue for 1
Hundreds
year.
Of millions of dollars.
This is for 1 year of
for
McDonald's for men.
Totally.
Okay.
For men.
But girls, let's not forget these
Hobbits.
divas.
Yeah, of course they eat a lot. They have a lot of meals.
They're often overlooked.
That's right.
Like
I have this in
hobbits
my
eat
brain.
a lot.
They have a lot of
So
meals.
they have 7 meals. So think of the localization opportunities, right? We got McGriddle and McCafe for breakfast and second breakfast. McMuffin for 11sies. We have maybe an afternoon tea promotional deal. 2 for 1 Big Mac combo for dinner and supper. And seriously, like, imagine doing dishes 7 times a day. They're not going to want to do that.
Of course. No, that's so right.
Welcome the opportunity.
I mean,
to
what
not
other
do that.
time would you have? Yeah.
So I'm imagining they
Fast
go...
food, regardless if it's McDonald's or another place, we've hit a
market.
something here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they need it.
right.
They need a fast food joint.
Yeah.
So I think they probably eat around 2.5 times the amount of McDonald's just because of the amount they eat.
Sure.
As humans. So we do the same math. I'm not going to go through it so much again, but we start off with a much smaller population, 200,000. We ramp it up to 2.5 times per week. We end up with an additional $50 million per year. Okay. Now I want to talk about people who I don't think are eating this. Elves.
Right.
They're giving organic. You know, they're giving. Also, lembas bread is an industry disruptor for them. They can take one bite and they don't need to
eat full.
So like,
True.
they're not doing much. Dwarves, small population. I think difficult to get permits inside of the mountain. You have to get a password in a different language to even try to get in. Like, ease of business is going to be tough. Okay, so total now we have 611 million plus 50 million. So we have what?
What is this?
A
Sister company.
McMordor's? Okay, wait.
Wow.
Wig. Okay, so McMordor's.
Oh,
bitch.
wow.
This is the gaggy part.
So it would have a completely different structure.
Well, it's the same parent company.
Okay.
But
Subsidiary.
But why can't we have some mates? Here's where I really want to go. Okay. Orcs and goblins have to eat.
Yeah.
As far as we know, they literally only eat meat.
That's
There's a big opportunity here for McMordor's. Okay. So I present you the McMahon flesh. Our localized meat meal to meet the dietary restrictions is the McMahon flesh. It's keto, no vegetables, no bread, full meat. Buns are meat. Meat is meat.
Buns are meat.
Patty is meat. No extra choppings. They like it raw and wriggling, as we know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if it's actually made out of man flesh. That'd be like hard to farm sustainably.
Yeah. Could start wars.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of a marketing thing, right? And to convince the orcs, like, they might not even know.
Right. It's like the vegan.
Right.
It's like
McRib
it's
is
like
like-
man flesh. Yeah.
Is that pork?
Exactly. As long as they think that they're eating man flesh, like whatever.
Yeah.
Also, the convenience, slay, and innovation potential. The ring wraith ride through, pull up on your horse, or pull up on your fell beast. You can see here in this photo, look how easy it could be to swoop in. They don't have time to go inside. They got a ring to chase, okay? But wait, orcs and goblins under Sauron and Saruman's leadership don't get paid a wage.
Yeah.
So that's going to be hard.
But they could if they worked there.
Sure.
It needs employees.
McMordor has a government contract with Saruman and Sauron as the cafeteria service that feeds their orcs. Okay, bear with me. Wouldn't be the first government contract that McDonald's has ever had.
Yeah.
Okay? They're in the top 10 most popular restaurants on U.S. military bases. They've partnered with the USDA and the National Dairy Promotion and Research Board to add in more butter and cheese to like stimulate the dairy economy. And they get good deals on that as well because it's a government partnership. And also, like, let's be fucking for real. Who is feeding 800,000 orcs?
No, for real. Yeah.
Is feeding them.
It's a problem.
They have to outsource. It's not like he suddenly
cooking in the
can
kitchen.
Cook.
Yeah.
He has this, like, you know, this infrastructure to cook for this many people. It's giving what's potatoes precious. Like, you keep your nasty chips. Because they have a government contract. They're probably not making the average $8.86 per meal that like regular McDonald's is pulling in. That's just too expensive to ask for Saruman and Sauron. But also, the orcs don't want fries, right? They don't want shakes. They don't want coffee. They only want some meats. So maybe it's like $3, right, per McMahon flesh, because they don't even have to source other ingredients other than meat. It's going to be pretty cheap for them to make. But also they have to eat 3 times per day. So based on 810,000 goblins and orcs and the data metrics that we reviewed earlier, we can figure out an estimated revenue for the orcs. 810,000 orcs times 21 weekly meals, right? 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. That's 17 million weekly McMahon fleshes. Times 52 weeks per year, that's 884 million yearly McMahon fleshes. Times $3 per McMahon flesh that they're paying McMordor. That's $2.65 billion per year.
Wow.
From just government contracts. Okay.
Wow. I hear you.
So time to total for real. We've got the 611 million from the men, 50 million from the Hobbits, and 2.65 billion from the orc government contract.
Whoa.
That's 3.4 billion in revenue from McMordor and McGondor parent company. This is about 1/10 of the current revenue for McDonald's in the world, in a world that has only 1/1000th of the Earth's population. Okay, pretty thriving to me.
Wow.
In conclusion, McMordor and McGondor would be Middle-earth's most thriving food chain, catering to both the most populated and hungriest groups, men and hobbits, and securing government contracts from Saruman and Sauron to feed 810,000 orcs and goblins, making over $3.4 billion in revenue every year. They also have good bathrooms. They've got locations everywhere, super convenient, and they can localize the food offering to leverage different populations. So that's what I've got.
Wow.
My question that remains is, how bun made of meat?
It's just meat on top of, it's like meat.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Wow.
Incredible.
Our minds work so different.
Holy shit. That
know,
was
it
crazy.
was a lot of
I
math.
felt like I was in like a boardroom of
For
like,
real,
BlackRock.
For
Like,
real. For real. Let's just get into it. What fast food chain would thrive in Middle Earth? Now, to me, the thing about thriving, right, it is about sustainability and how you can produce a cycle system on Middle Earth itself. So while Jack, I think, has produced amazing numbers, I think I'm going to talk more about like how are they getting this meat? How are they producing this meat? What are the grains? What is the agriculture that can support making these burgers, building these buildings? How would you sustain these businesses on Middle Earth? What makes a successful fast food chain? 1, popularity and appeal. 2, financial profitability. And 3, feasibility of production. Now, considering what chain we can bring to Middle Earth, these need to be assessed. I believe in each of these categories, I have evidence to suggest that bringing this chain to Middle Earth would leave them saying, no Chick-fil-A sauce?
Oh my God.
I believe that Chick-fil-A has a secret sort of formula that really would thrive on Middle Earth, and I'm excited to get into it.
Incredible.
Let's talk about popularity and appeal. So Chick-fil-A is a brand. Business Insider did a survey that surveyed the most popular fast food chains in every state. You can see who the clear winner is across America. Chick-fil-A is viewed as this amazing brand for everybody. For 9 consecutive years, Chick-fil-A has held the top spot in the USA Today's Reader's Choice Awards for the best fast food in America. Whoa. And that's something to do with the popularity and social status as Chick-fil-A. It is rated amongst the highest chains with pride, like brands like we think about like In-N-Out or Chipotle or Chick-fil-A, these brands that also people are proud to like. Their profit margins also soar above those In-N-Out and Chipotle, competing with the big franchises with a less clean, social record, people look down upon sometimes, McDonald's, Subway, these sort of lower class brands. it has the profit margins of those companies while having the pride of the In-N-Outs or Chipotle's.
The indie.
Totally.
The indie brands.
The indie brands, that's right. Now let's talk about Middle-earth tastes. Their most popular foods: meat, bread, eggs, vegetables. Chick-fil-A's menu is made almost entirely out of those things. So denizens throughout Middle-earth would enjoy what Chick-fil-A can produce. But the real key here, I think the thing that sets Chick-fil-A apart, the thing that I'm proud to showcase today here, is Chick-fil-A's focus on the chicken. Chick-fil-A's focus on chicken is, I believe, the key to the success here on Middle-earth. But let's first look at chicken throughout Lord of the Rings. Lots of people reference chickens. Bilbo, talking about chicken, he makes a reference to eggs and chickens in chapter 5 of The Hobbit. Even Gollum, who is out of touch with reality, references eggses. We have Gandalf talking about put on a few eggs, there's a good fellow, bring out the cold chicken and pickles, a very popular meal. Clearly there are chickens in abundance, and in fact down here you can see in Lord of the Rings Online you can do a thing called chicken play, which is where you play as a chicken throughout Lord of the Rings Online. So it's clearly a popular animal, and we'll get more into Lord of the Rings Online chicken play later because that has to do with profitability and feasibility, but for now let's talk about other things. Financial profitability. Chick-fil-A makes more per restaurant than McDonald's, Starbucks, and Subway combined, and it's closed on Sundays. So while McDonald's is far and above the most popular, it has the most amount of chains, Chick-fil-A has a sixth of those locations, but is making so much more per restaurant than McDonald's makes on Earth. The average Chick-fil-A unit made around $4 million in 2017. By contrast, a total sales for McDonald's per unit, per store, made $2 million on Earth. So while McDonald's makes more money because they have more restaurants, Chick-fil-A makes way more money per unit. Now, the chicken as the moneymaker. Generally speaking, chicken is considered far more profitable than beef due to its faster growth rate, its lower feed conversion ratio, and ability to raise a large number of birds in a smaller space compared to cattle, making chicken production overall more cost-effective per pound than of meat produced. Now, the ability to be farmed by the diverse people of Middle-earth. Cows, they're too large, heavy, and could be dangerous for some of the smaller folk that make up Middle-earth. This would limit its reach, or at least ease of production, and therefore sales in places like the Shire, or if we think about dwarven kingdoms, right? A chicken, however, could be handled by all sorts of folks from all over. So that is a plus for a chicken-forward restaurant. Chicken is a pillage-proof commodity. In Middle-earth, pillaging is depicted as a relatively frequent occurrence, and Chick-fil-A's ingenious focus solely on chicken production means that it would be the most profitable and least risky investment to bring to Middle-earth because it's relatively cheap and easy to maintain a chicken coop, and disasters like raidings or pillagings would not send the company crashing into oblivion because they're cheap to buy again, start it up again. Cattle takes years to raise. It indicates that pillaging would be disastrous for a company that is focusing on beef. Now, feasibility of production. Climate. The Middle-earth boasts a wide range of climates throughout the kingdoms. While both cattle and fowl need protection from particularly cold environments, it's far cheaper to build and maintain chicken coops than cattle houses. And on top of that, take a look at the places you can travel through Middle-earth as a chicken in Chicken Play on Lord of the Rings Online.
Wow.
Pretty much everywhere.
It's amazing.
In fact, everywhere.
Wow.
Here is the basic route for just one of the quests you can be a chicken. You're talking the Shire, Breeland, Lonelands, Trollshaws, all the way to the Pass of the Dead, Minas Tirith. It's all of these places that the chicken can go.
Tracks.
Little chicken tracks. That's right. Now, what does this mean? To me, this proves that every single environment in Middle-earth is a viable place for a chicken to thrive. No one in any of these communities during chicken play is questioning that there's chicken running about. That means that they are common and a popular part of life in all Middle-earth kingdoms. That versatility throughout different communities is key to opening up a chain restaurant. In conclusion, as the world's most successful chicken business, Chick-fil-A would bring the most profitable and easily produced agricultural commodity to Middle Earth, which coincidentally is already loved and cherished by its people and is perfectly positioned climate-wise and socially for production there. No other fast food chain would thrive more in Middle Earth, period. Let's imagine a future together, shall we? Let's imagine a future where citizens throughout Middle Earth would have cheap access to all of their favorite food groups: meat, bread, eggs, veggies. A goblin with a grilled spicy deluxe. A Rohan rider with ranch. Numenorians with nuggets. And a world where there is one chain to feed them all. One chain to feed them. One chain to bring them food. And in the chicken, feed them.
Wow.
That's my presentation.
Wow, bravo. Bravo.
Thank
Wow.
Wow.
Really compelling.
Follow-up question for you.
Yeah.
How would the management or the corporate management of Chick-fil-A justify their Sundays off when Middle Earth is probably not gonna be understanding of their Christian sensibilities?
Yeah, well, I think that the interesting thing is that McDonald's also has ties to the Trump campaign. They have
Shit. Oh no.
Well, they
Wait,
have
throwing things.
I'm just saying there are ties to earthly things that I think when you change something to exist on a place like Middle Earth, I think whoever's going to be running that, in fact, me potentially, right? I can run Chick-fil-A that takes the structure of this Chick-fil-A and put it into their society the way that you could do with any chain restaurant. I could make it, depending on what the faiths of the different areas are, we could have them off at whatever holy day people want.
Thank you both. Did either of you play Lord of the Rings online?
No.
Okay, neither did I.
Okay, great.
Seems fun though.
Great. So the chicken thing could all be
It could be
We
fake.
should all do chicken play together.
Wait, can I keep you on with bated breath and give
Please.
my pitch?
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
Okay, you both have done amazing. Mine is going to be so much less facts-based than your guys's. You ever heard of a little place called Nando's?
Chicken.
Oh, we got
Peri chicken. This is a chicken place that is very popular in UK. Is Nando's considered fast food on Reddit Casual UK? It's definitely fast food.
Yeah, I mean,
if you
come
look
on.
at the food production methods on display. I have a picture here of a platter of, you got your chicken, you got some corn, you got some taters, and you got Denethor with his chicken there, and you got the Hobbits feasting on their feast of things.
Thank you.
You might be thinking, is it just chicken? No. Is it nice, my precious? Is it juicy? Is it scrumptiously crunchable? You've got a quote from the Unfinished Tales. Here is lembas, the whey bread of the Eldar that no man has tasted. At Nando's, you can get rustic Portuguese roll. Gimli says in Lord of the Rings, why it is better than the honey cakes of the Bjornings. And that is great. And that is a great phrase. For the Bjornings are the best bakers that I know of. Honey cakes, baked goods. You got plenty of that at Nando's.
Oh, love it.
Assorted desserts. And I suppose you three won't want mushrooms again, said Fredegar without much hope. Yes, we shall, cried Pippin. They're mine, said Frodo. And at Nando's, you have spicy grilled portobello mushroom pizzas.
Interesting.
A mushroom option.
You can get
And
so many
perhaps
things at Nando's.
if you're familiar with Nando's lore, then you've heard of cheeky Nando's with the lads.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's so true.
Yeah.
Cheeky
It's such
Nando's.
a laddie. Lord of the Rings is such a laddie.
Very lad. But what does cheeky Nando's mean? It has to have a meaning. And someone said, mate, it's hard to explain, mate. It's just like one day you'll be with your mates having a look in JD and you might fancy Curry Club at the Spoons, but your lad Callum, who's an absolute ledge and the Archbishop of Banterbury, will be like, Brevs, let's have a cheeky Nando's instead. And you'll think, top, let's smash it. Someone said, what the hell does this say?
How did you read my mind?
Yeah.
Cheeky Nando's with the lads is very much the vibe of the Hobbits returning to the Shire and having a little cheeky drink.
For real.
Our dear friend John Ronald Reuel Tolkien lived and worked in Oxford for most of his life. Nando's largest market is the United Kingdom. As well, John Ronald Reuel Tolkien, author of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, was born in Bloemfontein, an Afrikaans-speaking area of South Africa on 3rd January 1892. Nando's originated South Africa.
Wow.
My pitch is Nando's, and I thank you for your time.
Wow. Really interesting about how he based this off of sort of British culture, and neither of us chose a British taste. You know what I'm saying?
I have to make a choice between the two of you. And
I just want to say one last thing.
Yeah,
Say
one
it.
last thing, please.
McDonald's also has chicken on the menu.
The person who bows to no one. And the winner of this Dweeb War. Carson McCauley, you have won this Dweeb War.
Wow.
Chick-fil-A, the favorite franchise of Middle-earth. Jack, you blew me away.
I mean-
you blew me away. I do think just truly the cuisine of Chick-fil-A, the way that you tied that into the amount of chickenry in Middle-earth, that really worked for me. And
Thank
I
you,
think that you,
Jack.
let's go have a cheeky Nando's and do some chicken play.
Yeah.
Chicken play. I'm
I know,
sorry,
it's
guys.
like
That sounds
sensual.
scary.
Chick-fil-A. Oh no. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank
for
you,
coming.
guys. Love you.
Love you so much.
Love ya.
Love yous.
Love ya.
Let's go, yeah. Let's have a